Good evening. So I just want to share this with somebody that may find it useful. A couple notes from a couple books that I read. The first one is from The Power of the Subconscious Mind. I read that book like a couple or a few years ago now. This was one of the notes that I felt like was pretty important. Was a one that stood out. But it says, there's a toughening when you're trying to level up from your vibratory level. The universe metaphorically puts you through a stress test. It's a stress test, nothing personal. And then I put a smiley face after my note there. So the way that I comprehended the first sentence is, when you're trying to level up, there's a toughening, meaning that, you vibrate on a certain vibration and a certain frequency, and, you're in a certain level in your life. And when it's time for you to advance to a higher frequency, a higher level of consciousness, or, as we say commonly, just leveling up, the universe will test you, and you will go through a series of tests. It'll test your strength, but also it's to strengthen you, to make you stronger. The universe metaphorically puts you through a stress test. It's a stress test, nothing personal. So as you know, as they say, what doesn't kill you make you stronger. Nothing personal, because it is the way of the universe. There's your highs and then there's your lows. And, when you're down or when you're low, the only way is up. So that was a good note that I took from The Power of the Subconscious Mind. And then there's some notes that I jotted down. Looks like that was about a year ago. Some notes that I jotted down from a book that I read, and it says, healing is a process. Don't let anyone manipulate you into thinking you have to progress according to their timeline or in ways that suit their needs. Now, that's a real important one, because as we can see, it's very common and very frequent that there is a lot of people talking, especially online. A lot of people, saying a lot online. I can appreciate a good word. I can appreciate some good materials and some good receipts, and some good content, and things that we may find useful, things that may help you get to the next level. But what I believe is that people need to use their own discernment and use their own best judgment, and listen to themselves and their own, guidance, as far as how they're feeling, and when they're making choices and making judgments. There's people who don't think that women should speak, or that women should be in positions of leadership. There's people who don't think that there's people who don't think that individuals who they see in their eyes, or what they perceive, or what they judge, they say that individuals who need healing, who they judge or perceive needs healing, should not speak on certain things, or shouldn't speak, or shouldn't be in positions of leadership, or shouldn't have an opinion, or shouldn't open their mouth, or shouldn't teach, or some people say they shouldn't even be in a relationship, for that matter. And my thing is, who are they? Who gave them the authority to speak over your life, right? Because as I said, there is a many voices and individuals in the world, and specifically online, that you may find very useful. But at the same time, when someone wants to tell you what you shouldn't do, or, you know, when they want to make it seem as though, you know, even insinuate that you're not in a position or you're not qualified to do certain things, and it's like, says who? Or, you know, individuals who feel like, you know, when you're at a certain point that you should be healed at a certain point, or there's certain things, again, that you shouldn't partake in because you need to go sit down and you need to go heal that. Says who? So there is a lot of, you know, a lot of this going on, and people are unknowingly being programmed and controlled by other people, what people say and think. And, you know, it won't get you very far. It won't get you to a happy life that, you know, a life fulfilled or a life of freedom, listening to everything that, you know, the experts online, you know, have to say. You got to make your own best judgment and command your subconscious mind and tell it what you want. Open your mouth and tell it what you want. Tell the universe what you want. And before you make big decisions, you know, checking in with yourself, really tapping in with yourself and tapping in with spirit. Listen to your own guidance. And if you feel as though you're not getting an answer, you're not getting a clear message, then you can, you know, use other resources and reach out to other people. People should definitely listen to their own inner guidance. This is a good note. Your progress is not based on popularity or how many people applaud you. It's based on your energy, alignment, and effort. Ooh, I love that. I love that so much because, you know, there's so many people in secret competition. There's so many people that, you know, they live based on the validity of other people. They need people to validate them. And what someone else says is like, what matters is what someone else say, or I'm worried about what they say, so that dictates how I move. And, you know, that goes back to, you know, what I said as far as people listening to what other people have to say and not listening to their own inner guidance. You know, people being in competition, they in a popularity contest. You know, they base the value of their neighbor, their associates, their loved one, their friends, based on the material things they have, the numbers in their bank account, and the likes that they have online. Interesting. But it's based on your energy, alignment, and effort. And what that's telling me is how you're progressing, how you are progressing in your inner self, how your inner being is progressing. Not comparing yourself to other people. Not saying that don't happen, or that, you know, like that's uncommon. I think as human beings, we can tend to do that just because, especially if you're anything like me where you grew up in a big family. And then just socially, you know, being social beings, I think that it is a natural thing for, you know, for us to sometimes compare ourselves to other, but that's a trap too. That's a trap in self-evolution. But anyway, I just had this word for somebody. Maybe somebody might resonate with it. Good night.